Okay, exploring some of the newspapers on Icon. I found another Missouri paper that has information on my family. And it's powered by Newspaper Archives, but this is free. You'll find Newspaper Archive is becoming free in many libraries, so it's worth checking out or recommending your library carry it. Now here is a very basic search. Here we've got what papers are in the database. Here we've got between certain years, and we can just enter keywords. But let me show you what's on the advanced search. Now here we have all the words, exact phrases with at least one of the words. So if you had like a birthplace, death place, you could enter them both, and if one of them appears in it, it'll show you the paper. And if you're getting hits that you don't want, you use without the word. Now here we've got all dates, exact dates, and between certain years. Here we've got the newspapers again. And over here we've got little tips on how to use the different fields. So let's maybe start out with an exact phrase. We're going to look for Annie Chapman, and I want something in Rocheport. Now remember, this paper is 100 miles away from where my ancestors were in Rocheport, but I was still getting hits on it. So it's really worth checking out as many papers as you can. Okay, that got us 2 hits. And we click into it. Okay, here we are. Now, being I'm working in a small browser, I'll come over here and enlarge everything. Well, you'll see here we've got a little blue box. I can actually zoom into that little area. Here's Rocheport, and over on the right we can scan up and down. And here we've got Annie Chapman in Rocheport. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of the articles that tickled me when I tried this out. Here we are. Chapman in Rocheport. So surname and town. Let's click go. Now here we get 28 hits. Now let's click on the first one. Okay, over here we've got our little blue box. So let's zoom into it. Now, seen anything of this editor? Well, this is about a man that skipped town owing people money. But that's not my family. But over here we see Annie Chapman, so let's click on that. You know, with this little find, I know now that Annie Chapman owned and edited the Rocheport Progress, and it said was established 5 years ago. Well, now I know my grandaunt ran a newspaper. I know the name, and since it was 1910, she started it about 1905. Here's an article that didn't have anything to do with Annie, but I got a little bit of information out of it. Now this one kind of tickled me. Okay. Thinks Senator Stone is vulgar. Oh dear. Declares he sent improper material through the mail and to go to a lady at that. Well, turns out my grandaunt was a little offended by Senator Stone's letter that was sent out. And makes me want to research a little deeper, maybe find that letter and see why Annie was so offended by it. And one thing I'm finding on the library editions of newspaper archives, and even in here, let's see if I can find one. If the print's real bad, you end up with an error message. Well, apparently this ain't one of them. With any luck, I'll find one. Here we are. I seem to get this quite a bit. Oh, I wouldn't say quite a bit, but too often. And then when I check it out, say with another service that uses Newsbank, I find out the image is just bad. Hard to read, but I would be able to transcribe it. Well, that was my only complaint about newspaper archives and this database. But other than that, I found something I didn't know, and I really think you ought to give it a try. So, enjoy.